Disclaimer. The opinions expressed in this show are unfiltered and unrehearsed. Statements conveyed are personal and issued to the best of the ability and knowledge of the cast. They should not be taken as conclusive facts. Does This Offend You is not responsible for any mental, physical, or emotional damage sustained by its listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to another episode of Does This Offend You? Have you ever asked yourself what a magician, an intern, and a slave have in common? How about Adam Levine, an MMA fighter, and your mother? Or Catholicism and Grand Theft Auto? Well, we've got all the answers, all that, and more on today's episode. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.
What do I have to say to make some money? What do I have to say to make some money? No offense.
Yeah, I don't know why, but every time I try to save to the same folder as the recording I did the previous week, it like says there's an error. Don't ask me. I'm not a fucking magician. All right.
Be.
Yeah, I should be. You know what's crazy? I was at my a baptism like last week or 2 weeks ago, and there was an actual magician there for like kids and stuff. They hired a real magician, and the guy was like 80 years old or something ridiculous. Like he was an old son of a bitch, but like he was good. He was really good.
Isn't that sacrilegious? Like, I thought Catholics don't like magicians or Harry Potter or anything like that.
I guess it's to the degree of how Catholic you are. I mean, what's the degree of how Jewish you are? Like,
I mean, okay, I feel like Catholic is like the pinnacle of Christianity or whatever Jesus crap you believe in.
Right.
And then like Protestantism and like Lutheranism, everything, or I think Protestantism is just like Christianity or some shit. All of that is the diluted versions where they're just kind of like, no, it's cool. Jesus died for our sins. You can do whatever you want. There are no rules.
Oh,
Like it, I don't know. You're the one that went to Jesuit school.
I don't even know what kind of school I went to be honest. That's how much I
Sarah
care.
High School?
Is that Jesuit? I don't know.
I don't even know what Jesuit means. I thought it just means
I
Christian.
don't know either. That's like, it's so convoluted. Like there are different, like I think with every religion, there's different like degrees of how much people care. Like I feel Mormons are more uptight than Catholics, to be honest.
Well, because they have to be because their membership needs it.
Right. And then there's your Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, shout out to that one episode we talked about the concept of God. But like, there are definitely people who care way more than Catholics. Not to say that Catholics are super chill or anything, but you know, it's to each their own, however you want to practice it. Yeah, my family and my extended family, they all go to church like every Sunday, religiously, pun fully intended. But also, yeah, they're not against having like a magician to make their kids happy. Like, who cares? It's whatever. Like, you're not going to hell for it. They're not that crazy. I don't know. But yeah,
I mean, for me, it's like having a Catholic wedding, but you have a rabbi do the ceremony.
It's that extreme. That concept blows your mind that there's a magician at a Catholic baptism.
It just sounds like it doesn't fit the protocol. Like if the religion doesn't call for it or doesn't approve of it, but you incorporate it in the ceremony or like the celebration of it, it just seems kind of off to me.
I could see your point, but I don't think we're that crazy. I don't think a lot of people are that crazy. It's a new generation, folks. Like the church is trying to be hip and cool. Like you can have magic, you know, just send us donations every week. You're not going to hell. Whatever.
Cool. I'm gonna have a Hitler impersonator at my wedding.
There you go. Yeah, same thing. As long as everyone's cool about it, no big deal. That's all I'm saying. Gives a shit. You can have a sense of humor and be religious. That's all I'm saying, man. What was I saying?
Fair enough.
What was I saying? What am I saying? Oh yeah, that's right. I just want to say it's kind of like a feudal enterprise to like go into magic, because how many people end up like your Chris Angels or David Blaine, right? Like just making actual money doing this craft, but then how many of them end up at like a baptism? Like it was kind of sad, but also like I commend the guy. Like holy shit, he's doing what he loves, I guess. But
I mean, the hourly rate is probably really good relative to having a boring, stupid job. Like I heard birthday clowns, as humiliating as it is, make a shit ton of money.
Oh, more than this
per
podcast. I can say
shift,
that with
though.
confidence. Yeah, per shift for sure. It's all per diem work. They're not making it. They're not 9-to-5ers, right? There's no benefits.
Yeah.
There's all that stuff that comes into play. Yeah.
If you got consistent work as a clown, you're very good at marketing.
Yeah. How the fuck did we start talking about this? I have no idea.
We talked about the what is it?
No, didn't you say something that like got me off topic or
You were talking about a baptism, which is like a Jewish circumcision, but they had a magician there. So instead of like making a rabbit disappear, we just make the tip of the penis disappear.
Gotcha. Oh, I remember how. Yeah, because I was like, I don't understand technology. I should have been a magician or something like that.
And then we were talking about clowns, and because Vlad's here, and I figured it was related.
Segue into Vlad because he wants to talk about something. Speaking of clowns, what's up, Vlad?
I'm eating.
Cool. I'm glad. What do you got there? Pro tip: if you ever want to start a podcast, just examine what someone's eating. Get tons of viewers. There you go. We solved the case of what Vlad's eating. Next subject. What are we talking about today?
I just took a shot of apple cider vinegar, and I'm eating pineapple, so my teeth are gonna rot like a motherfucker.
You're still doing that? The apple cider vinegar?
I mean, I have a shit ton of it left. It's not like I've been consistent on it.
Yeah. One of those diet hacks that people stand by. I'm not really.
Diet hack?
Whatever you want to call it.
That's like saying supplementation.
That's just I literally just said that. I said supplement as you talked over me. It is a hack though. To some degree, you're fueling your system with more than it's accustomed to. Should be accustomed to.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, let's make this argument. Since the dawn of time, man was hunting for food, and that's what sustained them, and that's how you get ripped. And then there's the introduction of gyms, which made it artificial, but you still found a way. It means to get ripped. And then supplements came after. I just feel like
that's like saying a gym is like a workout hack.
I mean, if you
because back in the day, you became a warrior by like fighting other men and killing them, or hunting bulls and shit. But a gym is just kind of like, oh hey, do you want to like displace heavy objects for a short period of time? Here's your opportunity. All right. Instead of like hand-to-hand combat.
It's basic evolution. Like there weren't places that existed where you can just go pick up heavy objects and put them away.
Right.
And actually pay someone to do that too, which is crazy.
So is modern medicine a life hack too?
No, but what I will say is that outside the means of what you can do for, like, you're introducing something that, like, diet and exercise, that's all you need. If you're supplementing any of that, then I feel like it's kind of like a hack. Like there's an extra step between.
I feel like you're forgetting about slavery.
What?
I said you're forgetting about slavery.
Oh,
how
please.
People had to work and bust their ass to basically stay fit that way, working for somebody else for free.
Yeah, that's a hack. For both sides. It's a life hack. Just get yourself a slave. You won't have to do any remedial work.
That's what Master Roshi did.
Yeah. Which is actually what internship is, technically speaking. You just get yourself a bunch of slaves who work for nothing or next to nothing, and they do all your work for you. For the opportunity.
Paid internships.
Next to nothing, as I said. I said that I know what I said, and I meant it. There's no internship that actually gives you real money. That's all I'm saying. It's basically servitude or slavery.
What do you consider real money?
Like, like something you can sustain your life with.
We can't sustain our lives with above internship paid money here in the Bay Area in general.
Okay, that's the Bay Area. Good for us. So unless you're working for something to, whatever. I don't care what your market is. If you can't afford to live by yourself or whatever, like something that's like within the realms of you're not just like foraging for food by yourself or whatever. Like you get comfortably, not saying comfortably, but at least you have the means to sustain yourself to some degree. That's all I'm saying. Like the Bay Area, that obviously means a lot more. But if you go to like Arizona, it's a lot less. But whatever, that price, it's very arbitrary. But that's what I mean. Would you be able to live in this house with us as an intern? That's all I'm saying. Would you be able to pay the rent, pay for food, whatever the bills come through?
I mean, again, depends how much you're being paid at this internship. Technically speaking, well, what many people get paid now, working like not super high-end jobs, it's not sustainable. That's why most people in the Bay have like 2 or 3 jobs. They have to make additional income because jobs don't pay enough. So it's just a case-by-case scenario.
Yeah.
Some place might pay you a bit better than even some like low-end jobs. Internship.
Okay. And I'm saying any of those internships don't pay you enough for okay. Furthermore, they don't pay you enough for what you're doing. Like, I guess some internships will pay you the minimum wage, but so do people at McDonald's. They both make the same amount. I'm saying if you went to school for like 4 years, whatever, and get yourself like a master's and you're still an intern making that money, it doesn't equate.
If you get a freaking liberal arts degree in school and then expect to get paid well, I got bad news for you. You're not going to get paid
Oh my
well,
God, I'm not talking about
regardless.
the degree. I'm talking about the position you're in. Jesus Christ. Get past all the fucking superlatives. An internship is it's not a job. You get nothing or you get next to nothing for what you're doing. That's basically servitude. It's basically slavery. I don't know.
agree, but
Yeah.
I think internships are also mostly jobs that a lot of places originally did not need. It was more of an opportunity for someone to shadow, but it was like, well, don't waste your time. At least get involved and do something. So you're probably helping somebody else with their job. I just think a lot of offices probably took advantage of internship programs and turned it more into like, oh, it's intern season. We're going to have somebody that's going to file these letters away for us, or they're going to organize our Excel sheets or some shit like that. But back in the day, I'm sure somebody actually had that job and interns replaced them, because a lot of people are willing to do anything to get their foot in the door. And nowadays, internship is a little bit more possible because the majority of people in our generation still live with their parents, so they don't have bills to pay. So that's what's creating this market of people that get paid nothing to do bitch work.
That's the other thing they have to consider. Then today's market, you're not technically allowed to have an unpaid internship. It's against the law. Places that do it are usually small businesses that pay you, that try to go under the radar and not be noticed. But generally speaking, you can't have an unpaid internship in this day and age. And if you do get paid, you're making minimal wage, which is what, like Danny said, even McDonald's employees are making there. So
Yeah, but people can still circumvent that by just calling
Yeah.
it like, oh no, they're not an intern, they're just shadowing. Oh, you apply here to shadow, it's not an internship, because now if that's the label that makes you have to pay somebody, people are gonna find a way around it.
There's
I
a
mean,
loophole for sure.
labor board. Problem is, if somebody is smart enough to take this to the labor board and be like, "Hey, I'm an intern that they're not paying," that business gets fucked real fast.
Here's
True,
the
but no one's gonna do that if they want the opportunity. They're only there because they want to get their foot in the door. They want opportunity. If you want to go snitch on them, good luck. You're gonna get blackballed. Everyone's gonna know about this. Your name is gonna be out there with this person snitches. They're not cool, and no business wants to snitch. As we talked about in another episode, Danny can put it right here. That
shit. Look at you go.
that I forgot what I was saying. But oh no, that we were talking about how businesses
Get
we were talking about
blackballed.
businesses are immoral. Like businesses will do anything they can to get by and win.
Look at the kid. He tried to do his first shout out to an episode and got lost, man. I'm telling you, heavy lies the crowd.
I was more focused on burning you than I was on the point.
burning me. I'm doing my job plugging other episodes. You think that's something to make fun of? Oh, fuck yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, heavy lies the crown. You had it for a split second, bud. You couldn't carry it. All right. Anyway.
I finished it. I made it across that goal line.
Good job. All right. I'll plug that episode above your head when the time comes. Good job, buddy. Yeah. So number one, what I wanted to say was that there's a loophole to this system that where you can't pay, or you have to pay interns, because especially on people who are in class in college and are like on their way, they're about to graduate, they need like credits. Internships are paid to you in experience or towards college credit, and that's as they circumvent actually paying you currency. So that's one way. I'm not sure how far that stretches. Like maybe I don't know how long a job will keep you on after you graduate and have that like be the case where they pay you nothing. But I know that's one way to circumvent that law.
Well, what if also I called doing this show an internship?
Well, I'm paying you nothing,
This
so
is
I guess
my
it counts.
labor,
I
my
can't pay you
time,
in
and
credits
If
either.
I feel like I am owed money for it, who do I complain to about that?
Obviously, Danny has opened his checkbook.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can complain to me, but we also didn't
Yeah,
sign. We
and
didn't
his
sign
face
anything.
I think we just lost him.
Yeah, his face
Uh-oh.
froze at smirking. I think we
What's
just
happening?
got
Mother.
fired.
Uh-huh.
Why does it,
That was
while
happening
we're waiting
today?
for Danny to make it back,
Is
why
that
does
what's
it
happening?
look like you have a fish tank
Are you fucking kidding
behind
me?
your microphone? Like, if you look at your video
Yeah,
feed,
oh
it
my
looks
God.
like
That's the ring light bouncing off of the screen. Yeah, that's the
Jesus
ring light
effing Christ.
reflection bouncing off the mic.
but why is it moving?
Because these ring lights are like high intensity strobe lights that you ever like walk into a supermarket like Costco and those big ass lights that hang overhead, they are technically blinking at an incredibly high speed. You just can't see it because it's so fast. But if one of them gets damaged even slightly, you ever seen they start to blink? That's
Yeah.
because it slows down. This is the same thing, but the shadows bouncing off the mic, so that's why you're seeing the wavy reflection and whatnot.
Is mine blinking right now?
No.
Hey, it was me. I don't know what's going on, dude. Whatever. Sorry. I
Now
lost.
your camera shrank. That's weird. It says Danny Haddad's network bandwidth is low.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yeah. See, that is exactly why I can't pay you, because I can barely keep this podcast running as it is, as you can tell. Everything's falling apart. I'm in the negative. So it's also another futile enterprise, podcasting.
Well, then sounds like you can't afford us, man.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to run this by
Time to
myself.
take down your business or continue shady business and call us shadows or call us, what is it? We're just gaining experience.
Yeah.
We're passerbyers.
Potential hires. That's what I'll call you guys. My potential hires.
This is a trial period.
Yeah, on that note, I was also going to say that like it may have started as a way for people to get their foot in the door. Yeah, like way back when someone came up with the thought of an internship to gain actual valid experience for your position. But, you know, like a lot of things over time, it gets corrupted, whether it be because people saw a means to like take advantage of people, or the economy just can't sustain this type of thing anymore. But now it's just like you have to. I mean, tell me if you've seen this before. You have to like apply for an internship. Like they won't even take your free labor. You have to actually like jump through hoops to get the opportunity for someone to just take advantage of you, as it were, just for the opportunity to get experience. And what's ironic is that they ask for experience before you even get through the door. So it's a completely different world now. So I don't know if it still applies that it's just like a means to get experience for getting paid next to nothing.
Have either of you ever worked in internships?
Yeah,
Technically, yeah.
but not in like a 9 to 5 world. It was a little different for me. I was in the studio world, music and stuff like that. Like I did want the experience legitimately, and I did get paid a little bit, but music altogether is not a great industry. So I knew what I was getting into.
What about you, Omid?
Yeah, I have.
Where'd you do it?
I've done it in Israel and I've done it in America.
I mean, like for like what kind of work?
Dentistry.
Interesting. Okay.
Is there a point attached to that?
No, I'm just trying to figure out specifically what kind of business today still pull the whole entire internship card, because I've never worked in an internship. I've always been paid for all my work. So
Good for you, buddy.
There's law, there's business, there's marketing. There's so many like internships out there for so many different programs. Just yeah.
I feel like the medical field is big.
Medical field is huge, but a lot of it's just called shadowing, because it's not like we're gonna show up there and help anyone. I know for like people that are trying to get into med school, a lot of people do what's called being a scribe, which is you go to a hospital and you go into the room with a doctor or a nurse and you like interview patients and you write down their information so that it can later be logged into their chart or something like that. But when I was interning, as they say, as for dentistry, it was mostly just being a dental assistant and sitting chairside and somewhat observing, but most of the time I never had time to observe because they're like, no, you're an assistant, like you're gonna have to like get all these things ready and do all these things. So that was pretty much my form of free labor. And when I wasn't at the chairside, I was cold calling patients to come in for their exams and shit. So
that to me is crazy. The fact that you actually had to work and then not get paid, regardless if they give you experience or not. That's some fucking bullshit.
it is what it is. Like you want to get your foot in the door. Nowadays it's required for the application, so it is what it is. But again, like I'm not complaining, because if I was able to do it for free and I was willing, then that's what I am worth. If somebody's not willing to do it for free, good luck finding a paid one. But then you're going to have a blank spot on your application. And I know a lot of people that didn't do that before going to school. They finessed the application or something. And I was actually impressed when we came into the first day of school and we were running clinicals. And I was teaching them what everything was. Like I knew the whole setup for a dental chair right off the bat, which is not really necessary for the actual dentist part, but when the learning part, I had all that shit set. I didn't need to study it again. It was like second nature to me. And I'm sure same thing goes for many of these other jobs. If you find a good internship and you find someone there that can actually mentor you and teach you something, I don't think it's a waste of time.
Well,
But
no
as
one
the
said-
person who also admit that they weren't in an internship, I don't know if you also can stand in a spot where you can say it's not good or useless.
I'm not saying gaining experience is a waste of time. I just think the exchange for that is, I don't know, it's not equal to what you're doing. It's not for every position. Like medical, I feel is like important to actually get experience before you start getting paid. You know, you could butcher somebody up real hard. You can do a real bad job on something because you're dealing with people. Like it's a whole world altogether. But same thing with law. Like imagine trying to go to like your first first case, and you just fucking you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You put someone in jail who like's not meant to be there. I don't know, whatever the case is. Like when you deal with people, when someone else's life is in your hands to any degree, like that's when it starts to get a little dangerous. Maybe you want somebody with that experience, and that's why some of those jobs, I mean, they pay a lot once you actually get a career going. Like before that, you got to make sure you're doing a good job at it. It's like
Right.
you've earned that paycheck. Yeah.
All I'm
yeah.
saying is that it's wild for especially a business like dentistry or law offices that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in a relatively small capacity of employees to not be able to even pay minimum wage to somebody who's coming in to do basic bitch shit like paperwork or organizing. You're not paying them, again, a salary of 60 plus grand a year, and that's still considered to be low for at least us. But to not pay them even minimum wage, that's just absurd. And like I said, there are laws that prevent unpaid internships today. I don't know what loopholes exist to not be able to have to uphold that, but I think it's fucking bullshit. Especially if you're fucking at a dentistry, dude. You're literally, your employer is making hundreds of thousands of dollars for you, Omid. For you not to be able to pay even the scraps is nuts. Or for me, if I'm with a law firm, for them not to pay me at least $15 an hour to sit there and organize their paperwork for them, which is pretty important as well. That's nuts. I wouldn't be okay with that.
Well,
That's why
keep in mind, they didn't come to me. I went to them. I didn't go to them and say, hey, do you need this done? I went to them and said, hey, what can I do here to be around you? Same thing goes for law offices. If you go in there saying, hey, what can you pay me to do for you? That's a totally different conversation. But I'm just trying to get experience in the field. I'm sure same goes for any other field. Like if you're going to an advertising agency and they have you do some kind of remedial task, I'm sure that remedial task is very important for the business. And once you get into that industry, you also have a better understanding of what everybody else around you is doing that's not directly your job. And I think that's also a very important thing to know because you need to know the ins and out of your industry. And when it comes to law, I'm sure it's the exact same thing. If you find the proper mentor and you want to shadow them or follow them, they don't have to pay you. In the goodness of their heart, they can. As a shadow, I did eventually get hired and paid for my labor. So I'm not going to say it was all bad. The guy was really cool, but not everyone's like that. I'll say that right off the bat. He was like, I eventually did get paid, but I started off not getting paid. And I wasn't complaining. If anything, when he offered to pay me, I was like, dude, like, you don't have to.
It just sounds to me like the approach of what you're saying versus what I'm saying is that you came in there saying, hey, I just want to learn from you. Can you just let me stick around versus me saying is I come in and say, hey, I need a job.
That's 100% what I said.
Yeah. But I'm saying that like I said, no offense to you, I would just never be like, hey, can I hang out with you and not get paid? Like, I would be like, I need a job. Can you pay me to do some basic shit? Whatever, minimal wage, I'm fine with that. And I'm sure that most people, especially with like a high-end position company, can afford to pay me $15 an hour to go and do some filing for them.
And I live a privileged enough life, I'll acknowledge that, where I had the means to not need to get paid, and my main focus was to just gain experience. So if the office said I didn't want to pay you, I could still be like, that's cool. I didn't have to go office to office. I knew who I wanted to mentor me and I pursued that. So it's
I
totally
understand
different.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, to me, it's a bit wild. That's all I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah, of course it is, but no one, I mean, everyone acknowledges, you want to get paid for any sort of work you do, but I don't know what kind of life you've led, Vlad. I've known you for a long time, but like if you've never had to work free in your life, then consider yourself lucky. And I'll go ahead and say that. Like I know I'm in the same boat as Omid. I live a privileged life. Like I could take the hits when it mattered. I lived at home for a long time, but in this economy and in this real world, I can only speak for the United States of America or the Bay Area, but you really, to actually make yourself stand out, to have a real shot at what you want to do, you're gonna have to like work for free to some degree, or like that's the real world, dude. You look at me hella strange. Like if you know what you're worth, go out, get what you're worth. That whole, like, I know what your mentality is. Like I don't want to work for free ever. Pay me at least the minimum wage. But the reality is that's not how it works anymore. You'd be lucky to get a job interview with 5 years experience. Or with a 5-year degree, but zero years experience. Like it's the market is upside down. All right, man. Like people aren't gonna pay you. They just want to see that you like have the drive to work, and then they'll consider paying you later. That's how it is now. That's the market. Maybe you haven't looked for a job for like 20 years. I have no idea. That's the reality.
It's wild to me. Like
we acknowledge it's wild, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying I started working at 19 or 20 years of age. That was when I got like an official job. Before that, like I'd help out with friends or whatever if they needed something, just volunteer work. But that was me just helping somebody out. But like the first job that I had, I think it was like 19 or 20, and I got paid. It wasn't a lot of money, but I got paid. And any job that I've ever had since, I would never, regardless of any reasoning, take a walk. Let me hang out.
Were these jobs where you were pursuing a specific career, or was your only goal to make money?
No, I was just trying to make money. I was
okay. So that's the main difference between what we're talking about. Like I know that you understand what we're saying, but you're having a completely different conversation now. We're talking about internships, and you're bashing internships for not being paid, and now you're saying, "Well, I was getting paid doing this." So do you see where the disconnect is right now?
I know where the disconnect is. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, humbly enough, regardless if this is for your future career or whatnot, for especially a job like a law office, a dental office, a medical office of any sort, where they're making crazy amounts of money, to me, it's just absolutely mind-boggling that they couldn't spare $15 an hour to anybody that even just wants to learn how to do the profession.
Yes, agreed.
Why would it be their job to pay you when the exchange is, I'm not here to get paid, I'm here to learn? So all you have to do is teach me, and you're going to get my labor. I am busting my ass, but I'm busting my ass in school, but I'm paying to be there. So should the school pay me for studying?
You're especially if you're paying to go to school to learn something, they could at least pay you. It's not going to cover your tuition, obviously, but at least
look, anybody can pay you for whatever reason. But the only reason that I'm trying to make myself, to market myself to them, to say, hey, I know I'm worthless right now. Like, you don't need me to do anything because you already hired other people to do these tasks, which they did. It makes more sense for me to say, hey, you don't have to pay an extra person to run your office because it's running just fine without me. I'm here to learn. And then when there was a need for me because one person went on like a vacation, I got paid to be there because they needed me. Like, that's when I was like, okay, well, this guy learned from these people. He knows how to do their job. We'll pay him. And they gave me a decent rate for someone that literally had the only experience of working there for, I don't know how long, like 6 months or something. But the thing is, when you're going to a place for an internship, you're not going there for a paid job. You're going there to gain experience. If they wanted to pay someone for a certain job, they will hire somebody with experience. If there's an application involved, almost every application I've seen for an entry-level position still asks for 2-3 years minimum experience.
Yeah, I get that part. I'm just saying, again, like we can agree to disagree on this one, but just to me, it's wild. Dude, that's all it is.
No one's disagreeing. I know it's wild. Well, maybe Omid is, but I'm just saying I know it's wild. But the real world right now, dude, you have to go get that experience. You have to like bend over and please, sir, give me experience, or else I won't get a real job. If you don't do that, good luck in the market, because everyone's looking for you to have experience before you get to the job in the first place. I said, before you get the paycheck. Yeah.
You were pursuing an entry-level job, whatever your first job was. And that didn't require experience. That just required, I'm here to do a task, show me what I'm doing, and pay me for it. That's totally different. And I don't know how you stumbled upon the job you have now, but I'm sure you had some mentors or some serendipitous events that happened in your life that led you to where you are today. But as someone who had focus, I wasn't gonna just like stumble in my life looking for a job and stumble into this person needs someone in the office to help them in their dental office. Okay, cool. Oh, dentistry is so cool. I'm gonna pursue this now. No, I knew what I wanted, so I pursued it, and I went somewhere that didn't have an opening. So it's a different mindset. But people who go into internships expecting payment, I think that's another issue in itself because again, you're gonna go somewhere and you're gonna ask them to pay you for something that they don't need. Their business is gonna take a hit because you want education. In a way, that's kind of selfish if you ask me. Again, I pay to go to.
It's selfish that you want to get paid when you're paying for school.
100%. I'm not saying selfish is a bad thing, but you're looking out for yourself. That's awesome, but so is the business owner. They don't have to pay you. They don't have to let you in to learn.
I don't know if they don't have to pay you or let you in. My point is that they can. They can pay you tenfolds over with what they make. That's the point. What I'm saying is that it's not like they're fucking suffering like, oh my god, we have to pay this guy $15 an hour to do the most basic thing when we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's gonna fucking eat into our income. Give me a break. Like I said, I never came into my jobs with any experience. I came in bullshitting my whole way through. I worked a lot of my work sales-wise. Well, I came in with nothing, no experience. I literally bullshit my way through my current career that I have. I came in with no experience, and I bullshitted my way through. And now I'm able to make money because I bullshitted my way through it. I picked up, and I went and played it by ear. I mean, again, everybody's different. I'm sure some people can't bullshit their way through. They exist. I'm not one of them. I know how to work my way through things. And I'm the kind of person who believes that if I'm going to have to break a sweat for something, I'm going to at least make the bare minimum. Granted, you have your philosophy, your mentality. I respect it. I get it. I hear you. I just don't agree with it.
Well, Vlad, let me ask you this then. If I'm your friend, but I know nothing about what you do, would you start paying me with zero experience right off the bat if I just came over and asked for a job?
Yes. If you came in and I took you and said, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do this. I'll train you and I'll pay you as well." I'm gonna make that happen.
Okay. Fine, not your friend.
What if I came and said I want $15 an hour to come and watch what you do?
Well, if you're just gonna watch me, no. But if you're gonna actually help contribute and learn with me and let me train you, yeah, of course I'll pay you. I don't need you to sit there and fucking sit around and watch me. That's not a job. If you're actually gonna do something, which you said you did, you were filing paperwork and this and that, that's doing something. You're putting your heart.
Yeah, but I was also kind of like bored too. Like I was there most of the time. There's nothing to do.
You're doing something. You're still doing something. You're wasting your energy putting in effort to do something and possibly learn at the same time. That should be rewarded with at least the most basic of payments. And like I said, if Danny, to your question, if he came in and said, "Hey, I want to work for you. I don't have any experience," be like, "Dude, that's fine. I'll train you. I'll pay you, especially with the training too," and I get you going. Okay, that's just. To me, it seems like a normal thing to do. As long as you're not sitting around playing with your dick and actually doing something, I'm fine with paying you.
Okay, before I comment, I just want to do a mini game now for the rest of all of our episodes. I just want to count how many times Vlad references playing with your dick. I want to put a counter on the screen from now on. Playing with your dick. I
want to say how many times you reference going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, hole. I know. Exactly. Everyone has the weird ticks and and whatever how their language is cool. Anyway, what I want to say, let me ask you this then, follow-up question. What if there are 50 people outside the door right now and all of them wanted to train with you and learn with you and get paid?
You can't hire all 50.
So
You're
what if
hire on how many you can?
So then how do you pick who you hire?
Yeah.
You're going to well, first off, you do interviews. You're going to see
there it is.
You have an interview. The point of an interview is to see how they approach, how they think. It's like a lot of big companies today, they don't hire you and they don't ask you questions just for the fuck of it. They ask you to, like you brought up before, Omid, where you were talking about how Google asks people if there's a jar full of jelly beans, how many of them are in there. They don't care if you give them the right answer or not. They want to see how you think. It's the same thing here. Every job that you get hired on, or that you get interviewed for, they want to see how you approach. If you're a salesman, how are you going to sell me a fucking pen from Wolf of Wall Street? How are you going to be able to figure out, if you're a private investigator, how are you going to find out where a person lives? You're gonna give them your thought process, and then the employer says, okay, this person seems more qualified because this is how they approach the situation. I can work with that.
Okay,
Whereas
now
this
let me
guy
let me ask you a follow up. You interview all these people, you pick one, you decide to pay him. One of them comes to you and says, "Hey, you don't have to pay me, but I'll still do it." Would you let them on?
I'm gonna be like, that's cool. I'm still gonna pay you, but thanks for the idea.
Would you let so you're gonna hire two people then at that point?
No, I'm gonna hire on the person. If I listen, if I had a group of people and two of them came on, one of them came on, like I said, favorites wise, and they don't know how many people I'm hiring. But let's say the two people that I thought were good qualifications came up, and one of them was like, "Hey, you don't need to pay me. I just want to work and learn." I'm still gonna, and I like I said, the person fits my my standard of work ethic that I like. I'm gonna hire them regardless if they want to work for free or not, and I'm still gonna pay them.
What if
I'm not gonna
all of
I'm not
what
gonna
if
hire.
what if all 40 people came to you and said, "Hey, we just want the experience. We don't want to get paid."
No,
At what
because
point
I'm
do you
gonna
say, "I'm not going to let you on," or "I can't pay you, but I'd be glad to show you how things are done"?
no, because I'm the kind of person who believes that you have to hire based on qualifications. I'm not saying the person has to have experience. You can tell when a person's good for something. Like some people are good for sales, some people are good for this, for that. You have to read the person who's interviewing with you. If you feel this is a good fit for your company, hire them, pay them. And obviously, if all 40 people, I mean, magically, if all 40 people were that fucking good and they were all a knockout, if I could afford to pay
Okay,
them
but
all, I would.
now let's assume you don't have a job opening. Okay?
Okay.
Someone just walks up to you and says, "Hey, I would like to learn from you." And you don't have that job opening. This is literally just taking on apprentices or shadows or interns.
Okay, so you're gonna be a fucking shadow. You'll sit there and watch. I'm not gonna let you work. You can watch.
You're
You don't
not
have to
going to
get
let
paid.
them work because of your morals, and you're like, "I don't want to make you work because I feel like I'll need to pay you," or
No, I'm not
what?
gonna. If you're gonna be a shadow and just literally shadow is somebody who stands around, watches, and just takes notes and learns something, I'll let you hang out and watch and learn something. But I will not let you lift a fucking finger because that's called a job and that's called work at that point. If you're learning as an apprentice, well, not an apprentice, as a shadow specifically, just to observe, go ahead, knock your socks off, hang out here, take notes, make a video, whatever you want. But you're not working. I'm not letting you. I
Hmm,
will refuse to allow you to work.
interesting. So even if they volunteer to say, "I will try my best to increase the value of your company," you're going to say, "Sorry, I morally can't do that.
Yeah,
You don't have to pay me." Oh,
doesn't matter.
that doesn't matter to me because
If you work, I will pay you. If you're not working and just gonna be there for observation, fine, you don't get paid. Observe, but you're not gonna be working.
Eh.
all right.
Well, what if these people need the experience to get an actual job with money? Like they're coming to you for your help, but you don't. Your help, it means that they just want to gain the actual experience, like hands-on experience.
Like I said, if you're coming to me to learn with me, I'm gonna train you. That means you're gonna be working. I'm gonna pay you. It doesn't have to be a lot of
So
money, but you're gonna get paid at
okay,
least minimum wage.
very commendable. But then you'd be turning someone away who actually needs the experience to actually go get a real job. Is what I'm saying, which is like not to like back you into a corner. Sorry, I think I heard one of my cats just die. Anyway, it's not to back you into a corner, but yeah, like you basically be turning someone away, like on the same moral principle. Like, wouldn't you want to help somebody? I don't know.
I mean, for my line of work, I don't think my line of work would help them get another job.
Hypothetical.
But like I said,
Hypothetical.
hypothetically speaking, if I can afford to help them
Okay.
and teach them something, which requires me to train them, then I will gladly do so. I will train them and I will make sure they get paid. But if, like I said, if they just want to stand there and observe and not have to, and I don't have to actually like physically train them, they can just sit there and literally watch what I do, then they don't have to get paid. They're just taking notes. They're shadowing, which is fine.
So no hands-on experience, but you still take someone on in that
Yeah,
sense where they can watch.
You can ride along and take all the notes you want. I'm not sure how much you're going to learn from it.
Right.
Maybe you'll be able to pick something up, sure, but if you actually want to learn something, that means I have to train you. You're going to get paid because my training is going to be work, and that's how I see it. And I don't think that's fair for you to have to, do any sort of work and not have to be compensated for it.
So would
You know
either
what?
you
I'm gonna say
constitute that as a? Sorry.
I respect your business practices.
I do. I respect that. But
yeah.
now now to actually like define this, would either of you constitute that as an internship, shadowing?
Yeah, why not? Police ride-alongs are kind of like that. You ride around with the cop in
I
the
wouldn't
car
call
and
it
watch
an
how he does
internship.
it.
I think
Why not?
For just sitting in the car for a day.
You get to if they arrest somebody, you get to watch what they're doing. It's not like they're saying, "Hey, you can't watch this," and close your eyes. Like, no,
it's like I can put that on my resume now. I interned as the police force. I don't know.
Yeah, if you
I
rode
like
along
that
with the cop.
I like that you're saying that somewhat sarcastically, but I do appreciate that we can see the shift in attitude that has come in this world of entitlement, though, because a lot of times the idea was, yes, I get to do this and I'm happy to do it. Like, yes, I get to go to school, I'm happy to do it. But now that we live in this world of entitlement, people think that they deserve compensation for every little remedial task they do. And I think that's where a lot of this differences in mindset comes from, is that there is that sense of entitlement for your time, which I do agree with. I think if you're good at something, you should get paid to do it. But I also believe that if you're learning how to do something or you're doing a task that's super remedial and you have the alternative intention of learning too, and you don't really add value to the business, I do think that there is some leeway when it comes to pay. But it does come down to the person that's, pursuing that task.
Yeah.
Agreed. And like I said, for that reason, I mean, everybody has their own thing. This is my mentality more or less of, I don't want to make myself sound like an entitled brat, but I just think that for me and anyone else in this world who actually has to do something that, isn't ideally a relaxing practice, it's something that they have to kind of put some elbow grease into it, they should be paid. And again, this is just my opinion. And I try to stand by my words because, like, I'm like I said with you guys, I'm fine with people observing me for free. That's their thing. Take your notes, make a video, whatever helps you. But again, if it comes down to me actually requiring you to do something where I'm telling you, hey, you need to do this so you can learn it, that's where it's like I'm giving you directions on how to do something. That's where I'm giving you orders, and that's where you are officially starting to work in my book. So that requires me to pay you.
Okay. Very cool. Duly noted. I'm gonna go work for you now. Say it yourself. You'd hire me. Okay, cool. So that's very well said, Vlad and Omid. So we're gonna take a break right now, and after this, we'll come back with more of Does This Offend You? Stay tuned. Does This Offend You is absolutely, definitely, and undoubtedly brought to you by this 100% totally real sponsor.
Today's episode is brought to you by pissing off your Middle Eastern mom. In previous episodes, we spoke about how your Middle Eastern mom will find joy in getting different kinds of fruits and cutting them up into squares for you and really showing her affection by feeding you something healthy. And I think a lot of these Middle Eastern women, they really do thrive on being needed, like especially by their kids. Like that's how they perceive their love. And I think if you really, really want to piss them off, but also kind of invalidate their worth to you, I highly recommend going to your local grocery store like Safeway or something and buying pre-diced fruit. When they offer to give you fruit and you tell them, no, I got it covered, you can chill, there is nothing that they hate more, right? Like, I used to let my mom do my laundry in college because I was genuinely afraid she'd go senile if I took away one of the very few tasks she has left in this life to feel useful. And I know she'll go on the phone, talk to her sister, talk to whatever distant relatives I have, and just complain, oh no, my kids, they're making me do the laundry, oh, they're making me cook, oh, they're making me clean the house. In reality, if she didn't have that, she'd be bored as hell and very depressed, because when you tell her, no, I don't need to do that, why don't you need it? Huh? What's going on? No, please let me do it. Or, no, mom, it's okay, I'm cooking my own food. And she'll constantly try to interject or do something for me and mess things up. I've realized that she needs this. She needs it a lot. And buying diced fruit, especially fruits that she doesn't normally buy, like pineapples, and showing her that she's been messing up her only job is a real good slap in the face without actually physically doing it. Back to you, Danny.
Excellent. Great. Awesome. I don't know what that was. An advertisement, PSA. Oh, yeah, it was an advertisement for pre-cut fruit. But also a little bit of venting. I like it. It's good.
Was it venting? I was just going off the cuff right there.
That was good.
Talking
yeah.
about how I know how to mentally abuse my mom.
Okay, so an admission of guilt then tied in there.
No guilt at all.
Just-
Actually,
Okay,
I find some joy in this somewhat.
Oh, okay, so you're a psychopath. Good.
No. I'm just yeah, I guess. I guess
so
I'm a
you're-
psychopath by that definition.
You're an elder
Because
abuser.
No. Look, I know
Accusations.
people think I'm an elder abuser because I still let my mom do my laundry and clean the house and do whatever cleaning there is. But I genuinely do think Middle Eastern women have a tendency to get Alzheimer's and dementia really early on. The moment they realize that they are not really as needed as they thought they were. You know what I mean?
I
Like, even when
do
you
know
get
what you mean. Yeah.
Even when you find a girlfriend or you get married, the fact that they still try to do those tasks for you, they probably start to even hate your significant other because they take away those tasks from them. Assuming you married someone that would do that shit for you. Nowadays, we're in America. All these millennial bitches won't do anything your mom will do for you. So good fucking luck finding that. But fact of the matter is, if you take any task that they have left, this is practically the skills they were born learning how to do for when they have a family. You take any of that away, it's almost like you're taking away her self-worth. And I think that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. They just want to be useful to society, to at least to you, if not just the rest of the world. I get it. And I've lived with that. Like I took that away from my family at a very young age because I was very independent early on. Whereas someone else in my family actually validated their worth, and I was just like, "This is terrible. You have to grow up
Right?
and start doing things for yourself." Like,
There's like no greater slap in your mom's face than when you start cooking for yourself and you tell them, "No, I don't like your cooking," or "No, it's not healthy enough for me. Like, I need to take care of my damn self." What?
how dare you? Yeah, I still remember.
How did your mom feel when you started cooking your own food?
My mom was fine with it. My grandma really took it hard because she used to do all like the cooking for me when I was a kid. And she still to this day, she does that like passive grandma thing. We're like, oh, I remember we used to eat this. You loved it when I cooked it for you. Now you don't eat it anymore. And like under her breath, like, you fucking punk. Like I can tell that she has a lot of disdain in her voice when she reminisces about that stuff.
Yeah, she's already signed you off and is waiting for grandkids. Like,
Dude,
great
yeah.
grandkids at this point.
That's it. She's waiting for the next generation. I failed. She needs another copy. Start over. Just hit the reset button.
She's probably right now encouraging your parents to make another one.
Oh, have a baby, like a baby brother or sister. 30,
I was
30
just-
years my junior. Oh, that'd be
I was
fucking
just
weird.
trying to like kind of get you to imagine your parents doing it, but hey.
No. I'm way too far gone. I imagine it and I move past it. I'm not like Vlad. Like I'm comfortable. Not comfortable with the idea, but it's not gonna ruin me. I mean, I'm already ruined.
I'm gonna not comment on this.
Yes. See, some of us can move past
for
it.
the record, even though my mom is technically half Armenian, whatever you want to call it, Middle Eastern or not, she would be more than fucking thrilled if I had a girlfriend or a wife who, did all the shit that she did for me when I was growing up.
I thought you
She would
do.
fucking. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just saying that my mom would be fucking like to the stars and above if that was the case.
Nice.
Especially, yeah, because my mom likes her time where she gets to relax, and yeah. But hey, everybody's different, I guess.
I am curious to see what happens when it's absolutely removed from her life.
I mean, I don't live with her. I barely see my mom at this point, and
And she's happier for it.
no, she's not happy that I barely see her, but she's not complaining that she doesn't have to do any sort of laundry, that she doesn't have to cook for me. She likes every time I come over, she's like, "Do you want me to make you something? Like, I'll feed you." And I'm like, "No, I'm okay," yada yada. And she'll nag me that way, but she's not like, ripping her head off like, "Oh my god, he's not eating with me." But like I said, if I brought home a girl that did all that, my mom would be just like, "Fuck,
That's so
Blissful.
cute. Your mom is playing it cool, but she's dying inside.
Well, if it makes your mom feel any better and she watches the podcast, Mama Vlad, he definitely needs you for all of that stuff. Living with him,
He loves the shit out of you.
I can say for a matter of fact, after living with Vlad for 6 months, he needs you right now. He needs you to do all that stuff for him because he does not do it.
I do cook for. I'm barely home, for the record. Okay, I do cook for myself, and I do my own laundry. I'm just not really home. How often do you see me? Be honest.
Not enough, but that's.
Okay, exactly.
I just say
I'm not home.
a lot of
Can't
that's
vouch for where you are though.
Yeah. I don't know what you're
You've
doing.
tried to
dude.
get it out of him.
Wait, me?
I'm doing
Yeah.
drugs at a crack house, actually.
I mean, if you're
If
probably
your mom's
cleaner at
house is a crack house,
Yeah. Honestly, you're probably cleaner at a crack house than you are here in this home. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, like I said, I'm barely here to fucking give a shit. I literally come here
Oh,
like what, maybe 2-3 times a week, sleep, and then I leave.
So the messes magically create themselves when you're not here.
Oh yeah, that's just because I come here and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing all this shit. I throw my laundry in a basket or on the floor, leave, and then like I pick. Okay, so today I'm gonna do laundry. I'll come in, do the laundry, all the cycles through, and that's it. And then leave and pack up again. I'm not here.
Yeah,
I'm barely at my own home, so
fair enough. Just create
It
a
is what it
whirlwind
is.
of chaos and then leave me to clean it. Got it.
bitch, I do not leave you any fucking mess. Shut the fuck up. I do all my dishes in the fucking kitchen.
That's true. I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
I heard. I know you said dishes, but a part of me heard bitches, and I got really upset
I do, but
when my brain corrected that. I was just like, man, this dude fucking tears it up in the kitchen and bounces. I respect it.
just like his dishes, the bitches aren't clean either. When Vlad's done with them,
Nice.
or before.
Aw.
Oh, I took my opportunity.
Speaking of non-clean bitches, I have a question for you guys. So I don't know if you guys have been watching any of the social media newsworthy stuff, but
The queen
There's-
died. Go on.
yes, this happened with the queen dying. There was a story that broke actually yesterday and finally got attention today, but there's some like Instagram model named Sumner. What's her name?
Yeah,
Sumner
I know what you're
Stroh.
talking about, Sumner.
And she broke the internet because broke news because
Adam Levine.
she had an affair with Adam Levine from Maroon 5, and it's a whole mess because so basically what the story is, I guess she was messing with Adam Levine when she just got to LA because she used to live in Texas or something, and he like DM'd her through Instagram and basically started telling her how hot she is while he's married to this like Victoria's Secret model for like 8 years or something. After that, she, for whatever reason, thought that they were divorced or breaking up or whatever. She finds out they're not and they're still together, so she breaks things off with him, stops talking to him. And then like a year later, he hits her up on Instagram again, telling her, "I'm about to have my third child, and I want to name her after you. I'm dead serious," type of thing. And she's like, what the fuck? So this female decides, I think it's a good idea to screenshot this and send it to her friends, who then one of her friends, I guess, took the screenshot and tried to sell it to a tabloid for money. And she found this out, so she decided to beat the tabloids and put it out, being like, hey, I don't want this. I don't want money for this. Like, I'm putting this out there so the tabloids can't exploit it. That this is what happened. I'm sorry, I had no idea. And I don't want to be a homewrecker. Like, he's fucked up for what he did. My question is to you, do you think she's actually being sincere in her approach with trying to break the story before the tabloids, or do you think she's just pulling for attention and just being a homewrecker hoe?
God, that whole story's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I do. I mean, where do I begin? Do I have to comment on this?
Yes.
All right, fine. Let me pull my
It's
arm
social
here.
media.
It's social media,
Hey,
so I have to talk about it.
If the answer is yes, the next time we ask a stupid question, I want a direct answer.
Yeah,
But it's
'Cause
not a stupid question. It's
I
breaking news.
also
Oh,
don't
it's
really.
right now in
I
society.
don't give an ounce of shit for this story, but if I'm gonna talk about it, the next time I ask you a question about what you're gonna do with your penis, I want a direct answer.
Jesus fucking. I gave you a direct answer last time, by the way, for the record.
But I don't want to fight for it.
yeah. You don't have to pull.
Well, you're fighting me right now, so fuck both of you. But no, I'm actually serious because, like, do you think that she's actually being sincere in her whole entire thing? Because she, quote unquote, beat the press. She put it out herself so the tabloids can't get her screenshots that were sent by her friend and sold off. she went out and be like, hey, this did happen, and I'm sorry, like, I didn't know. Do you think that she's actually being sincere in her approach, or is she just trying to, like, not, or is she trying to get this, or is she really, like, pumping herself up in the public eye because there's this big, you know, music star involved and all this shit? What do you guys think?
Let's start from the top here. If you're Adam Levine, why do you care so much about this one person? This guy gets pussy probably all the time.
Well, because now his problem is after she came out, a bunch of other women came out saying that he's been DMing them with flirtatious messages and all this stuff.
Whatever, because for as many women as he's DM'd, there's probably been like 10 times more who try to DM him. Isn't that the world we live in? Like, shit.
I know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's getting a lot of backlash because he's been married to the same woman for 8 years.
Yeah.
He's having his third child with her.
I get it's
now
messy.
This rolls out.
I get it's messy. Well, number one, before anything else, goddamn, I don't care for celebrity drama. Who gives a shit? There are other people like you and I don't know why we hold them to a different standard. Like as if you or I or Omid weren't pieces of shit who've done stuff like this, or vice versa. Like people in our lives haven't done shit like this. We don't make the tabloids. Whatever. I digress. Number two,
it's a public figure.
I get it. I don't know why we're so enamored with these people. We talked about this in this episode.
I don't care about Adam Levine particularly. I'm asking.
Okay, fine. I'm pushing all that aside. All my I get it. I know this is like Danny talking. Okay, right. So if I wasn't Danny for a second, let me comment on this.
You're prefixing your answer is what I'm hearing.
As always. So yeah, she is probably not being sincere. And not because she isn't. I mean, I don't know who she is as a human being. I assume if you're on Instagram and you're posting pictures that are garnering enough attention, people like Adam Levine. I don't know. Do you know who this person is at all? Do you have their account?
She's an Instagram model.
Okay, so I know you're just garbage deep down. That's all I know. That's all I need to hear. Instagram model. Got it. So you're a piece of shit. But were her intentions sincere? Yeah, I want to say. Oh, I'm not saying not entirely. I think she's trying to get ahead of the story in order to kind of like maybe.
But what's
better.
The point though? What's the point?
To save face. I don't know, because she can end up looking like a whore in front of all these people.
She is a whore. So, I'm sorry.
I know,
no offense to you, girl, but you are kind of.
Yes,
a hoe.
I've acknowledged that, but she doesn't want to make more people believe that. That's the point. It's PR. It's simply PR. With public representation. It's the whole like you just manipulate the public into thinking something else. That's it. We talked about that also here. I think that's what she's doing.
So the PR wouldn't have come from her having a tabloid say like, "Oh, big breaking news: Adam Levine cheats on wife with Instagram hoe so and so."
Yeah, she's different. I mean, she's implicated. That's all I'm saying. Like people don't want the whole story.
That's PR. That's PR.
Yeah, so she got ahead of it. It's strategic. That's all I'm saying. I didn't want any part of ruining his life. Excuse me for posting my fucking titties hanging out on Instagram. It's not my fault. Like, I mean, it really isn't. It's not directly her fault, no. But like, you know, if you get the attention of guys, like that's what she does for a living. Just people
the thing that bothered me most about her explanation was that she right away jumped into the conversation of he manipulated me into this whole thing. He organized this whole kind of scenario and it really manipulated me, who was very young and unaware, and just kind of like if you watch her apology video that she put out first and the second one that follows up after, like she right away takes aim at him, which I'm not saying Adam Levine's not wrong for this. What he's doing is pretty fucked up, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I literally try to like watch this whole thing because I can imagine why she's being sincere, but at the same time, it's like, was it really that hard for you to take 5 seconds and try to figure out if they were still together with his wife or not when he messaged you first, like just to kind of use common sense to, you know, critically think and figure out these things before you decided to spread your legs and respond to his messages and go see him up in person, and then give this whole sob story explanation and apology to the public and his wife and his kids and all this crap.
Wait, they actually met in person?
Yeah, no, he was. According to her, they were having an affair for a whole year.
Oh, right. That whole part, I miss it. And they wants to name a kid after. It's hella messy. Yeah. If you're that oblivious for I don't believe you're that dumb. Like you're not under a rock that much. You didn't like check any of this out, or
yeah, because you can go Google if they're still together or not. You'll find it everywhere.
A celebrity figure, especially. Yeah. It's pretty easy.
It seems like a load of bullshit to me. And for her, like I said, and the fact that she's not even like, for the problem is with me too is that she goes right off aim trying to be like painting him as being the one who manipulated her into this. Like, honey, you have a brain in your head, right? Aside from your tits, you should be able to kind of think for yourself. And if you want to fuck with the guy, I get he's rich and famous, and that probably makes your legs spread a bit more. But don't put it all on him as like coercing you into this whole entire line of actions because you're just so innocent.
Yeah, it takes two to tango. So she's just as much at fault then. Now that I'm understanding I don't know. I'll be honest, I tuned out a little bit while listening to the story. But okay, if she went out of her way for a whole year and like with no, I think that's simple case of denial.
I'll give her
simple case of denial. Yeah, she doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that she's still married. Jesus Christ, I'm still talking. Anyway, now I'm done talking.
No, I'm saying I'll give her the simple benefit of the doubt that when she quote unquote found out that they're still together, that she dumped him. That could be a little bullshit. Something might have happened that she didn't want to talk to him anymore. Like, I can't really, if it's true, if she really was that fucking obliviously stupid and couldn't Google if they're still together to figure it out, and then she somehow magically found out that just God fucking came down and showed her the sign that he's not divorced and she left him, like, props to you for doing that if that is true. Even though I don't really buy it. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to see your feedback, but Omid, what do you think about this whole situation?
Well, first, after looking up who Sumner Stroh is, I have to say she's a fucking dime. Oh my god. Like, I don't even blame Adam Levine if he knew he could, like, land this. Holy shit. Another thing I'll say is that, yeah, this whole thing is absolutely stupid. Fact of the matter is, I can see how Sumner would be a cool name, and while Adam Levine is talking to his wife, and they're like, "Oh, what should we call our son?" And he's there like,
Daughter.
"You know what? I got a great name. It's been on my mind for a while now. Sumner. Hold on. Let me go get permission from someone who's also named Sumner." Who the fuck does that, first of all? I genuinely think Adam Levine has some screws loose in it, like, as is, but he's an artist. Most of them do. Now, moving on to this Sumner bitch. First of all, dime piece. Second, I can imagine how many guys are on her DMs as much as girls are probably in Adam Levine's DMs, to the point where she did not need to sleep with him or pursue this at all. If she slept with him, she definitely knew he was still married. I don't care what the context was or what she thought the situation was. Like you said, if she had a brain, she should have just been like, how about you officially get divorced and then we'll talk? I want a serious relationship. Clearly that was not the conversation. Clearly it was, fuck yeah, I'm gonna bang a sex icon right now. And that's all it should have been. None of this should be taken personal at all. I think him asking her, "Can I use your name to name my boy?" is kind of a slap in the face too. But again, like, a lot of names are being used for the opposite sex these days. I have a coworker, his name is Courtney, but that is like a big dude. Like, I asked stories of their childhood and they said, yeah, nobody fucked with me. And I was like, I believe it. Like, this fool was strapped too because he did not live in the best of neighborhoods. But still, I think that this whole thing is absolutely stupid. She's an Instagram model. I don't want to dilute her story or her pain, but a lot of this shit gets out there because she doesn't need probably doesn't want the money from, like, this leaking or putting it out to the press. Her friends have no fucking business putting her media in the tabloids and getting paid for it. If anything, she benefits a lot from creating a sob story, because, hey, watch Adam Levine's bullshit shows or any other rendition of it, The Voice or American Idol or America's Got Talent. The sob story sells. This bitch made a sob story while also increasing her name recognition, because now we're talking about it, and we've never fucking talked about pop culture on this bullshit show. And now here we are talking about this dime piece that is offended or whatever because she tried to break a home and now Adam Levine wants to name a kid after her. Come on. This didn't need to happen. She made it happen and now she's utilizing it to her advantage by gaining a lot of followers and people are talking about her. I'm looking at her now and I was like, man, if I was a scumbag, I'd follow her on Instagram too. But I'm not. I don't follow models. I don't give a fucking shit about that stuff.
Thank you.
So I think that summarizes what I think about it. Next question.
Oh, so you're saying celebrities aren't good people? Is that what you're saying? Garbage.
I think so. It's not that celebrities aren't good people. I think celebrities are just like you and me, but they have access to do a lot more scumbaggy things that people like you and me would do if we had the same access that they did. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I am like them. I like to think of myself as more of like on the Chris Pratt side, where I do actually keep true to my values and like I don't fall for a lot of this shit. I used to think I would, but I'm pretty sure I don't. I don't know unless I'm in that situation, and I think it's the same thing for celebrities. They are scumbags just like you and me that got a lot of money and they have access to things that we don't. Adam Levine is a very sexy man. I'm sure he has always had that in his back pocket, but I've known guys that somewhat look like him that girls became obsessed, especially Jewish girls. Oh my god, they are desperate to find a Jew guy that is not like looking like a fucking nerd or something. These guys that look like sex symbols to people who also aren't Jewish. Like,
Question. Why did you reference Chris Pratt?
because I think Chris Pratt, for the most part, is a very decent human being. And from what I've seen or what the news has come out about him, he doesn't fall for the Hollywood bullshit. He's a religious man. And if the media found out, they'd probably roast him for it. But he's also fairly conservative, but he keeps that to himself. But he speaks the truth, and he doesn't do what everybody else is doing. Even his whole thing with Anna Faris, as much as I liked Anna Faris, I heard her side of the story, and I heard how the media threw him under the bus, and even she said so. Like, he's a good man. A lot of the things he said and done has been taken out of context, and I respect the man for it, for
What
being a
happened with
good
Anna
person.
Faris?
Anna Faris is his ex-wife, and they had a very good marriage, but she was also dealing with a lot of her own shit, and they had a child together that born healthy, but also has some issues of his own, like some congenital defects. And I think Chris Pratt put a tweet out about his son being born healthy, and for someone like Anna Faris, who was going through some of the shit that she was, took it offensively, and it kind of turned into something that went into the news cycle, and people turned on Chris Pratt, and it kind of like pushed for their divorce. But again, like after hearing the context from both sides, it does sound like Chris Pratt didn't do anything wrong. He just wanted to remove negative energy from his life because that wasn't who he was as a person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm not saying like people are people without power, with power, no money, tons of money, whatever. But what's the old adage like if you give somebody power or money, it like just gives them a means to be who they really are or something like that. I think I fucked it up. Omid, I think we talked about this too. And
No, that honestly, whatever,
Yeah.
that's close enough.
Yeah. So I, despite my immediate sarcasm on the matter, like, I get it. We're people. We're all people, etc., etc. I like to think that I hold myself to some sort of standards. I would to some degree, I would totally abuse my power if I got like rich and I had some sort of status. 100%, dude. I'd try to like get laid really easily because I know that would be coming my way. I'd also rub it in the face of people who didn't believe in me right off the bat. But after that, I feel like I'd probably just keep doing the same things I was doing before, just with more money to my name and more status.
Right?
Yeah.
Like let's talk about Tom fucking Brady, who married his high school sweetheart, #Sarah High School. I don't even know if she went to that high school, but apparently that they met in high school times. But he got into the NFL. He became goated very quickly, and then this man cheats on his high school sweetheart with the most famous supermodel there ever was. I know people that know Giselle by her name, and they think of Tom Brady as, oh, that's Giselle's husband. That's how famous she is. And Now they're having marital spats because this man is just so obsessed with the game of football that he was willing to put his marriage at risk. And I'm just like, look, some people might be broken down, but I don't think Tom Brady's balls have been empty since he was 23 years old. Like, or it has been full since he was 23 years old. Like, if Giselle leaves him, he will find someone else in a heartbeat. I know men that offer their daughters to Tom Brady if they ever had the chance. That man will not go without putting his sperm somewhere, okay? He'll be fine. His football season is going to be just fine.
Yeah, like I can already hear all the people in Foxborough just like dressing their daughters up, trying to get them, push them out into the world. Not even like still Patriots fans, but imagine Tampa Bay, just fucking girls flooding the streets trying to get at Tom Brady if he had gotten a divorce today, guaranteed.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Florida must be a lot more wild than Boston when it comes to like wild people doing wild shit for his attention.
We should call Steve and see what if he can go down there and observe for us and take notes.
Oh, he was there when they won the Super Bowl. Said it was fucking
I wonder
nuts.
how much Tom Brady would get paid for a vial of his semen.
God, infinite. Like just put on another revenue stream.
I'm pretty
Actual
sure.
stream.
I'm pretty sure if he had like an ounce of his cum in a vial and sealed it frozen, that man could probably score like a good $2 million for it.
I would say more. I honestly think that was so for a mint. Like, yeah, people are crazy,
Probably.
and their obsession with celebrities even crazier. Yeah. What were we saying? Yeah. Tom Brady in a heartbeat. If I were fucking Tom Brady, oh my god, I would have retired as soon as I won like that 5th Super Bowl or whatever. Like his obsession for the game, I really like applaud him. Good for him, dude. The guy does not quit. He puts his whole life on the line for the game of football, and that is something I don't think I'll ever understand for anything. Like I love music and I love art. Like I've said a million times. Would I upset the balance of my entire life for it? I would play around with that idea, but I'd probably come back down to earth. Like Tom Brady would sell his fucking sperm to play another season of football, I believe. If that was a
Prove
cost.
it.
I mean, maybe he's just bored. Maybe he doesn't want to be at home.
bored,
playing
yeah.
games.
I agree. I think he's bored, but I think it's also speaks to like how important it is for him to be the best, that not only did he leave the coach that was credited for his rise, Bill Belichick, and then fucking destroy him in every game they've played against each other, but
I wouldn't say
now,
destroyed, but go
Huh?
ahead. I wouldn't say destroyed.
okay,
Like
he wouldn't get
3-1,
destroyed. Like
yeah.
the defense had a big role in it too,
Yeah.
but whatever. Like he won that dispute. He
Yeah.
won the dispute between Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, and now he's coming back, and his wife is saying like, don't play this game. Like the more you get hit in the head, the more you risk turning into someone like Antonio Brown. Like, do you want to spend time with your kids? Do you want to spend time with me? Do you want to do all these things? And he's just like, I just want to win. I want to prove that I'm the best. It's almost like the Jordan mentality in a quarterback, where nothing was more important than their competitive spirit. And I applaud it. Now, do I think that quarterback sperm is the most valuable? Maybe not. But
If you want someone intelligent.
I honestly think if you were looking for like good sperm, look for the person that's naturally a genetic freak without putting in the work. Because I think Tom Brady put in the work. I think LeBron James is a genetic freak that also put in the work, and you see that. Lionel Messi, same shit, but he's short as fuck. His sperm won't be worth that much. You know,
But it gives guys like us hope.
yeah, but then like maybe take like the heavyweight champion fighter.
Mm-hmm.
That sperm, I after listening to Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan's podcast, I'm convinced that there's no truer sport than MMA fighting. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Sure.
Every other sport is just a fucking game that has no applications to life. Like chess or League of Legends might have more applications in life when it comes to strategizing and leading a team for whatever reason. But when it comes to actual like physical strength and brawn and mental physicality and strategizing and then thinking on your toes, dude, MMA fighting is fucking wild. It is the only sport where all of those things come into play at once. And when you're in that ring, you're fighting for your life practically.
Yeah. It's the purest form of competition there is.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's also just like the most natural one we have. Like
Yeah.
this is what the gladiators were. Truly, I think we use sports to replace the gladiator fights, but MMA fighting is way more natural than that. This is like truly the warriors hand-to-hand combat.
More so, it's like alpha dominance. You have to like try to fight for who's the best. Like that was before any agriculture or anything like that. Like when we were just animals, just fighting for the top spot in our world.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is. That's all ever fighting ever is. Like you just fight
Right.
to be the
Great.
best to survive.
And
As
you're not
great as-
dependent and you're not dependent on a team. That's
Yeah.
another crazy thing. You're dependent on your
As-
fucking self.
Yeah.
As great as MMA is, which I agree with, I still don't think that it's going to bring out quite the same animosity as the gladiators had, because in gladiator times, you fought to live. It wasn't about you get tapped out and you're done. Like, no, you either won or you're dead.
I'm saying MMA fighting is the truest that we have today. I referenced gladiators as this is the closest thing we have to that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because even in the gladiator days, I'm pretty sure sometimes they'll throw in a curveball and be like, all right, you three guys versus a lion, go. Oh, fuck me. Like, they're just trying to kill me now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so this is all just shameless plug. We talked about video games and sports on these episodes right here and right here because I can only plug one at a time. But go ahead and watch those if you haven't already. Pretty interesting stuff.
On a different note as
Yeah.
well, speaking of video games, did you guys, I think I sent it to you, Danny. I don't know if Omid watched, but Rockstar had their shit leaked by a bunch of hackers who showed the next GTA 6 early phase of their game development. And I don't know if I don't know if Omid read this, but they put out a statement where they were basically licking their tears off their own face, being like, oh, we got hacked and we're so upset and all this crap. And I sent it to Danny and a few other people, and everybody responded with being like, fuck them, I feel no sympathy, they deserve this, yada yada. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Fucking crocodile tears, dude. I don't respect anything Rockstar says or does. Like, it's all just a money
I don't
grab.
get why so much hate for Rockstar.
Because they're a bunch of fucking thieving assholes. And you know, if you've been playing their game long enough, like I have, like GTA, I'm not like,
I stopped playing it.
yeah, I'm not like crazy about it. But I remember one time I got sucked into it, like to actually make money in the game to buy some like car, just actually get the full experience from the game. I actually did for like a month. Got to understand the ins and outs and the economy of the game and what you have to do to make this much and buy this and et cetera, et cetera. Like if you're not paying to do anything, like they want your money at the end of it. If you pay for like actual real world money to like get in-game money or whatever it is, if you're not doing that, good fucking luck doing anything in that game. Because that's what that is. That's all their game is a cash grab. It's worse than DLCs. I will say that. What you have to do in GTA to acquire something is worse than just straight up paying a 1-to-1 for a DLC. And DLCs are already like a terrible, it's a good business practice, but just ethically just fucked up, making people pay to get more of your game. Rockstar has done that and more and worse. Yeah,
So,
I do not feel sorry for them the least bit, dude. Fuck them.
So I will say that shark cards, which is what they use for their credit system in the game, are definitely are awful because it's kids get sucked into it and they take their parents' credit cards and they buy all the shit. It's insane. But to be fair, as
be
somebody
fair.
who did, so as I was saying was to be fair,
To be fair,
I myself was very invested into playing GTA 5 when it came out, especially the online portion in the early days when there wasn't much content available yet. And I remember playing at that point where it was extremely difficult to make money. But to be granted as well, I don't believe shark cards were available at that time. You were just kind of stuck in this limbo of no real content, no real income, and just kind of floating around. It was the days back, I don't know if you remember, when everybody was hacking the game and making tons of money, and then hackers would like throw money into people's bank accounts. But in today's age of GTA Online, for GTA 5, the amount of content that's out there, and if you really go on YouTube, for instance, there's a few channels you can follow which literally show you how to make millions of dollars in that super game a day without having to purchase anything using actual real world money. You can make quite some large sum of money and be able to afford to do everything, buy whatever the hell you want in game, mostly within a day. Obviously you can't buy everything. You'll have to maybe like designate one day for each item that you want so you can accumulate enough. But the downside is you have to also be able to invest the proper amount of time to pull off all the proper heists and whatever business ventures they have set up for the game for you to be able to make that money. It is possible now. Granted, most people like you, like all of us, we don't really have, you know, the pleasure of time, the leisure to sit around and play video games all day. We have actual day jobs, we have chores, we have obligations. But for kids who get to come home and play video games after school, that is something that they can do. And for people who can't do it, that's where Rockstar capitalizes on being able to sell stuff like shark cards and make a huge killing. So, I mean, like I said, they've definitely developed the game. I quit playing GTA Online back when there was no content because I was like, this is fucking boring, and I'm done. Never went back to it. Unfortunately, when all the new stuff came out, I was like, I'm too far behind to kind of jump back into the game, and never really gave it another shot. But I'm sure that you, Danny, have played it at that point, and I'm sure that you yourself seen there's a lot of ways to make money now. You don't have to go and buy those shark cards unless you don't have real life time to invest in this game.
Listen, I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to all the people out there. Before you make this mistake, do not pick up GTA 5. 6, I have no idea. I'm telling you,
Get 6, not 5.
No, I'm not endorsing 6 either. If they're going to keep doing the same old shit. I'm telling you this, if you are a fully grown adult, not a kid just fucking around, playing around, and by the way, I've played with those people. As someone who went through it, to actually went through the grind to get some sort of, something out of this game, some sort of little shiny new toys, whatever, it's basically a second life. You're better off going out, working your regular job, coming back home, and paying Rockstar, and just getting get it out of the way.
When did you stop playing this?
I mean, I pick it up every now and then, but when I was actually doing this real grind, this was like 2 years ago. Like, actually, when the pandemic started,
Okay.
Guess what? I had the time to do it. I'm telling you, go out, work your day job, come back, just pay Rockstar. You know,
Play the real GTA live action
yeah.
version.
If your intention is to just like, if you really want to grind for that toy, more of your time should be invested in going to work in the real world, coming back, and just paying Rockstar. What I will say though is that Rockstar doesn't deserve it. Their entire sandbox is constructed to milk the money out of you, and guess what? They win, because if you're someone like me who refuses to pay a dime for this game, you're stuck working a second life. Don't do that. You owe it to yourself to just go out and live in the real world, make real money, and just experience things in the real life. Other than that, you're sucked into this world where nothing matters outside of it. You can turn off your PlayStation and go live. And I'm telling you, please do that. Do not give Rockstar any of your money.
Or, option B, be like me and figure out video games like GTA and Red Dead Online where you can hack the game and use glitches to quietly, don't go overboard, but make money and then save it up. And, you know, when they all get patched, you have shit ton of money left over. You can go crazy making that so Rockstar notices you and you're wealthy. You don't have to sit there and invest your whole damn day grinding it out, trying to make some meager amount of money. Even though I guess today, according to a lot of these YouTubers, you can make that money if you know what to do properly.
See, don't turn to Vlad. That's someone you don't want to become. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Do you want to end up like Vlad? You've heard him on the show for 27 episodes. Do you want to be that guy? No, the answer is no. So don't play the game anymore. Put it down.
Don't be a smart Jew. Don't be a smart Jew, okay?
Yeah, someone who just refuses to get paid nothing. Like, you play GTA for free and you don't get paid for that either. Fuck you. And you're doing just as much work. Yeah.
I mean,
might as well take the internship, Vlad.
Is it really worth it?
I mean, now we see why he wants to get paid, because he wants to blow his money on some bullshit.
Is it really work though if it's pleasure though? Think about it.
God, dude, the irony is that you do so much
I can
work
say
in that
the
game.
same exact thing about what I did.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the mentality. Is it I get to be here, or I want to be here, or I need to be here? You want to be in GTA, so you will spend money to get to be there. I want to learn my craft, so I'll pay to be there. Huh?
But in GTA, you're technically getting paid for your time. It's just you're being paid in a currency that has no real world value, even though it possibly can to some crazy motherfucker online who would be willing to buy your account for your money. Like,
see, that's the irony, Vlad.
Honestly, you're right. Yeah. You're fucking right.
You won't work for free in the real world, but being paid. But wasting all your time on a game and being paid $0.
I'm just saying, I like getting paid for my time. That's all I'm saying. It's not a bad thing.
It's not real.
I'm a Jew. Sorry.
You can get paid. You know, experience is intangible too, but you can still use it in the real world. That's all I'm saying.
Danny, I can use you in the real world.
God damn it. Okay, so this argument fell flat. We get it. All right. So this has been another tremendous, stellar episode of Does This Offend You? Don't forget. Well, actually, sorry, I jumped the gun here. Any guys have anything else you want to say? I'm sorry, I was being rude.
Summer Stroh, whatever the fuck your name is, you're a hoe.
Okay, Omid.
Everything that Vlad says does not reflect the opinions of everybody else on this show. You can look back at literally any episode and see that for the most part it's a lot of disagreements.
Okay. We should
fine.
We should put a disclaimer at the end of the episode also saying that Vlad has nothing to do with us. He's in his own little world. He does. Yeah.
Like my balls.
Yeah. Oh, there's a balls reference. Tits 2 today. All right. Anyway.
No.
Oh, wait, sorry.
The other one was a dick.
Yeah.
This is
your
a
dick.
fucking this balls. Get your fucking facts straight,
playing
bro.
with your dick is the thing that Vlad. So out there, if you want to play a drinking game, go through our 27 episodes, 28 episodes, and just point out drink every time Vlad says playing with your dick.
And for Danny, every time he says go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
you'll probably get drunk faster with that one than mine. Trust me.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll play it by myself and let you know. Yeah.
What about me? We should have a game where every time I lose focus or interest in the subject matter, somebody gets points.
For you, every time you yell, I think I want to.
Yeah, exactly. There, yeah. That's a good one.
That's like 2 episodes.
I mean,
No.
if you yell
Hell
for a
no.
long time, you can't put the drink down until he's done.
No. Every minute that he is yelling, you have to keep taking a shot for every minute that he yells. There you go.
Just
Or you can
waterfall.
just like sip your beer.
Yeah. Oh, don't be a little bitch. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we'll put. Go ahead. The Does This Offend You drinking game? TM. It's on its way. So this has been another episode of Does This Offend You? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tell us down below about your favorite celebrity or whatever, or maybe your favorite video game. What else did we talk about? Maybe your favorite sport.
Your favorite.
Have you interned before? Did you get paid for it? Do you employ people who are interns? Do you pay them? Let us know. Tell us everything. The words. Yeah.
I look forward to not reading it.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, well, I know Vlad will. This is more for him. Again, he has nothing to do with us here on the show. So, with that being said, that is Vlad over there. That is Omid. I am Danny. And next week, we find the body of Jimmy Hoffa. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.
Enjoy